Okay, it's rolling now. I'm Miss Edie, my mother-in-law, Mama Lewis, is laying down for the moment. I asked her a while ago, you want to get up? Nope. So, she's laying down, but she's feeling okay. It's just with Alzheimer's, you know. Anyway, but otherwise she's okay. I'm still going over my mind about my journal that I'm supposed to be doing, which hopefully I have done soon. And this is, my title will be Junk Journal Woes, especially for those of us who aren't really that experienced with it yet. I have made one, but it's been so long ago. I found it. I thought, wait a minute, I have made one, but it's a small one. Okay, now the one I'm making right now isn't big either. In my video before this, I showed you the materials, or some of the materials I was going to be using. And you don't know how I have struggled and struggled and struggled with putting the envelopes going together. Was a little bit of a pain, but not bad, okay? But then I had this long envelope and a piece of cardboard and some vintage sacks. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do a, what you call it, a dry run and see how it goes. The hardest part, hang on a minute, hang on just a second. Okay, the hardest part was getting the staples in the center of my card part. Okay, and I took it apart. I took the staples out about 4 times. And I've got to put something over it to correct a little boo-boo. And I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. But I will tell you how to do it. And I changed the color of my envelopes. Instead of this color, orange. Okay, I'm going to tell you some mistakes. This is this paper plus the cardboard plus the sacks. Well, at first I was going to have the sacks on the inside, you know, as part of the, you know, this, and then the papers you put in your journals, you know. And then I decided, nah, I'm going to go ahead and just cover this. So I covered it with one bag on the outside, but I used the other bag on the inside. And I'll talk over about doing this, but I'll tell you a mistake I made. When I put down my glue here, I didn't put enough glue. I shouldn't have used glue. I should have used that tape runner stuff, because as you can see, it kind of bubbles. It bubbles. So when I go to do a demonstration of doing this, which won't be an absolute demonstration, but it will be enough to talk you through it. Okay, I've got some of the wide tape, and I'm going to suggest you use the wide tape on it. Now, I will also show you in my other video how to put these envelopes together. But I'm going to show you the problem I had with this. Okay, I have a long arm stapler. Okay, all right. I lost it and finally found it. I'm so happy I found it. I've only used it a couple times, but I keep thinking I need a long arm stapler. So I got one now. Then I lost it. Okay, but I found it. See this? You see where I stapled it in and took the staples out and so forth? Finally. I know they say put your paper clips there. We didn't have any here at Miles, believe it or not. And usually I have everything with me, but I didn't have any paper clips to hold this down so I could get, and then I had to figure out with this just where to have, okay, how do you do this? Well, Okay, I had to figure out where to have, well, whatever it is, I had to figure out where to have it where the staple came out exactly. Okay, I don't want to get my finger stapled. And then I didn't have it on the spine. I don't know if you can see where I took it out there. It's not as bad showing, but you can see the staples. I think I have some vintage tape at home that I'm going to use to put on top of that. Then I'll have a washi, washi tape. And then I'll have to find something to cover that up and hide my little boo-boos on my envelopes there. Okay. But do not use glue unless you use plenty of it, because it will, or mine did, bubble. Okay, but anyway, I will do a better demonstration of this. I won't be able to have it where you see me put it together. I'm just going to talk you through it. But this has been a struggle for me. And I said, this is going to do. But I will explain how I did it, which is, for most of you who've put journals together, you're going, ain't no big deal. But for those of us who are new to it, well, I'm sure you'll appreciate it. And then I did find someone who had an easier way of putting those envelopes together. So I, went with their way. And if I can remember to dig out, to find their name, so you'll know where to go. But I'll show you how I, learned how she did it. It's not hard. But anyway, okay. Now, something else I'm learning is go and cut your materials that you're going to use on the inside of your pages to line. Some of these I may do on the other side. I haven't made up my mind yet just what to do. Anyway, and there's 11 pages that I'd have to, if I want to do it that way, put that on. 11! So I said, I'm going to go cut these out. And I'll tell you the measurements. You may vary yours if you want it to cover a little more or a little less, whatever. Okay. I'll tell you the size of envelopes I'm using, but whatever size envelopes, you're going to cut accordingly. Okay. Naturally. So, anyway, I've only got 7 more of these to find, and I'm using 2 paper pads. I'll go ahead and tell you the paper. Well, then you might want me to tell you then later too. But I'm using paper from Vintage Memories. I got this from Joann's. In fact, I just got it in. I ordered it. Here on the back you can see the papers. Very pretty. I like them. They're very pretty. And then from Joann's, Park Lane Vintage Pastel. Oh, and they don't show it. You just have to look at those. Okay, they don't show anything else, but see how it's got some glittery ones? I don't know if I'll use the glittery ones in here yet or not. And anyway, you'll just have to wait and see. In fact, I'll have to wait and see. I'm still looking and trying to figure out which ones to use. Then I got to look at my embellishments I made, and I might have to make a few more to coordinate with what I'm doing. But I'll have plenty of little pieces of paper. But I'm supposed to use the ones that I made for this. I think. But I had no idea. Maybe if you do a vintage journal, you better figure out what you're doing first, then go back. Anyway, y'all forgive me. I'm calling this Vintage Journal Woes. Especially for someone who's new to it and maybe not very well organized. Like me. Oh, my hair's sticking up. Sorry about that. Okay. But anyway. Alright. Well, I'm going to let you go and see you later. Bye now.